What's up, guys? Quick comparison video between my newly purchased and some earphones I just got in, the Opera Factory OM1, the Senfer DT2 Plus, something like that. I'll put it in the description, the name of it. The Kinera BD005 or BD005, depending on where you look. This was the first Kinera driver, the first Kinera earphone that I know of that showed up on AliExpress, and it's really where it all started for them. Since then, they've done the Kinera Seed, and they've just released the Kinera iDone, and I believe they have another IEM coming out, but this is their cheapest model. It's a hybrid model, balanced armature and a dynamic, I believe. This is a single dynamic driver done by a company called Whizzer, and this is sort of what I would consider a lower end model. And all these earphones I'm comparing all of them because they're all in the $20 to $25 around or thereabouts range, and they're all not KZs, so maybe this will be sort of a KZ alternative video, let's say. Some other earphones you can look at from different manufacturers that are not KZ. So in that case, barely anyone will watch this video maybe because it doesn't have KZ in the title. Oh well, something for people that are looking for something different. This is the Toneking TS1. And this is the one model that does not have a detachable cable. So, and it also is the Heidi's EP3, I believe, which they rebranded the Toneking TS1 from what I can tell. So let's talk about the sound when it comes to these guys. So the Opera Factory OM1 can sound nice with certain music, but it's certainly inconsistent to me. And it is somewhat L-shaped, which means that I think that it's bumped up pretty high in like a 60 hertz type of range. And it is a bass-heavy earphone, and it does bleed a little bit into the mids. To me, it tended to handle rock well, but it sort of oddly struggles with rap due to the default bass tuning being a little bit overemphasized. It does not necessarily distort, but it overpowers. It's a little too much. And the L shape means that it's a little bit flat across other frequencies, a little too much so. Slightly recessed in between like 2 and 3K, probably around 2K, and handles it. You can lift it with an EQ, but if we're talking just default tuning, and that's what I tend to do, then I'm not a huge fan of the default tuning here. It's so, as such, it's sort of lacking in details on some recordings without the EQ. It really slightly boring, even though overall it's capable. Just not my preferred default tuning. So moving on to the Toneking TS1. For me, in terms of vocals and stuff like that, this was the most, and I should mention 2-pin cable, detachable cable, non-detachable cable, not my preferred thing. I like to be able to remove the cable, particularly considering this is not necessarily the highest quality cable. Like, I don't trust this cable. It's just sort of rubbery feeling. It's rather thin. I don't know. But in terms of the sound, this is the most organic sounding of the 4 of these. And the instruments have a real weight to them and a realness to them, and a very, very good timbre. It's also really easy to drive, potentially the easiest of the bunch here, although the Kinera is pretty easy to drive as well. Vocals, really well done, very natural. Some distortion in the bass, depending on songs, can struggle with bass-heavy tracks. Overall, pretty great, nevertheless, though, and very nice for long sessions across multiple genres, I found. Just really well-tuned, soft, but organic sounding, and a really nice sort of timbre, real nice treble extension. Build and cable are nothing to write home about, I would say, like I mentioned, but There is a weird thing with these guys in that the nozzles are very narrow, so it is kind of a little bit proprietary when it comes to tips. Like this is a sort of a spin fit type, and it when I pull this guy out, it's going to leave the tip in my ear in 4 to 5 times. So that is kind of a pain. Anyways, so the Kinera BD005 for me, I like this guy. This is an MMCX connection, by the way. It has the airiest presentation out of these guys, I find. It does have the best soundstage as such, and good separation, actually quite good imaging. Best out of the 4 here, in my opinion. It does lose to the Toneking kind of in like a vocal presentation and naturalness of instrumentation and stuff like that. Otherwise, it takes the other categories. To me, it's impressive overall as a performer. I really like this guy. And I think that Kinera as a company, from what I've read, although I haven't heard them, I should mention they have the H3 as well. I haven't heard the H3 or the Seed or the new iDone. So at some point, hopefully I'll get a chance to hear those. But this guy is easy to drive, and it's compact. It's got the replaceable cable. Has a really nice fit as well because of its compact nature. Excellent fit, actually. So this is the Senfer DT2 Plus, I think. Although I might have that wrong. So this is a hybrid driver. It is an MMCX cable as well. This guy, for me, although it's technically sound and it does have pretty good treble extension, the bass does crackle a little bit on certain songs. There's a bit of a problem with the bass, and I do find that it has overall kind of an odd timbre. Also, despite the fact that it has sort of airy and decent imaging, the soundstage isn't particularly wide or interesting. It doesn't have that much depth either. So overall, but I would say that they have definitively the best build of the bunch. This is a nice metallic, almost ceramic looking build, and it is kind of sort of a knockoff of the Sennheiser IE800. And there's a million of those in Chi-Fi world, but this is a very nice one. So overall, great build, good sound, not great. So that's it. I mean, you have your choices here in the $25 range. I was kind of disappointed by the Opera Factory OM1. I did want more because I'm such a fan of its big brother, the Wizard A15. But anyways, that's just a quick comparison between these guys in the $20 to $25 range. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. That's going to help me out tremendously. Going to get other people to see the channel and stuff like that. So I hope you like it, guys, and I'll upload again soon enough. Cheers.